Hello, and welcome to the Paranormal Operator Podcast, where we talk about all manner of things that go bump in the night. Here, we discuss sightings, investigations, news, and popular media surrounding the paranormal, supernatural, and occult phenomena. So settle in as we search for the truth. I'm your host, Adam, Operator 23. In today's episode, NASA's UAP Hearing, Dr. Stephen Greer's Disclosure Conference and National Press Club event, space weather, a Bigfoot sighting from Hillsboro, North Carolina, evidence from a paranormal investigation in the UK, and upcoming events. Ufology news. The biggest story for UFOs, or as the government would prefer, UAPs, standing for Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena, is NASA's public hearing. I watched the recorded version of it. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to see it live, although it might be for the best. I have read through many articles from CNN, The Washington Post, NBC, the BBC, and many others, and they all say roughly the same thing. I will summarize the bulk of their takeaways and point out a few things I found interesting. In short, it boils down to, we need better data and there is no evidence. With that out of the way, I found the 4-hour hearing to be a waste of time, with one exception. Hopefully, it will help to wane the stigma surrounding UFOs with the very public meeting from a respected and prominent scientific organization. The best articles I found were from thedebrief.org. There will be a link in the description. The panel of 16 have the job of providing a roadmap by which scientists and the government should study the UAP phenomena. What is this roadmap, and how have they come to the design of it? No one knows. They did not bring it up, really, at all. Mainly just to say that they are not looking at old grainy photos, and our current array of sensors are not calibrated to scientific accuracy. I genuinely hope the report they release in July will have something a bit more substantive, seeing as how they've been working on this for almost a year now. And the answer to how do we study these things shouldn't be that complicated. You're looking for something anomalous. If you need to define it further, which in science you do, and I understand there's reasons for that, fine. Is it moving too slowly to be an airplane? Is it moving too fast to be an airplane? Is it too big? Is it too small? Does it give off radiation, alpha, beta, or gamma particles? Fine. Use the detectors we have. Use the instruments we have. We have plenty of technology that can detect anomalous things in the atmosphere. Use them all and see what sticks, because that's kind of what we do in the paranormal field anyway, but they're scientists, so I'll have to give them a little bit of a break. Now, the first interesting thing that I drew from the hearing was in the opening remarks. They were honoring retired Air Force Master Sergeant Sato, who, while working for the National Intelligence Manager, played a critical role in UAP analysis. When I heard this, the first thought that came to mind was, did NASA just throw the intelligence community under the bus? Because it was my understanding that the government had not officially been looking into UAPs, except for, the past few years. But here we have this guy who played a critical role in their analysis. Me personally, I would like to know what this role was, when did he play it, and where is the data that he analyzed? Because if you look at what Arrow is saying, or any of these government hacks for any of the programs, they'll say, we don't have data. We are starting from scratch. It's a bit like Kathleen Kennedy when she took over Star Wars. She's like, oh, we don't have books or comics or anything to draw from. We're starting from scratch. No, you're not. You're not starting from scratch. There is a massive body of evidence. Much of it anecdotal, but it's still there. At any rate, I digress. Who is this guy? What did he do? When was it? Because if it was before the UAP task force, I would be very interested to know. Because if the intelligence community is looking at it in a substantive way, in a way that is analytical, then there's going to be data. There's going to be a paper trail. There's going to be something. And if it's before the UAP task force, then it blows everything the government has been saying out of the water. That, no, we don't look at UAPs because they're nonsense. But, yeah. I'd kind of like to know. And, if all this stuff is classified, almost without a doubt. But if NASA knows about it, I mean, how classified is it really? I mean, this guy basically came out and said it on it's on the internet. It wasn't really on, well, I guess it was on TV. Anyway, he said it in front of God and everyone. So, it can't be that terribly classified. So, among the people who were there at the hearing were representatives from the FAA, which is the Federal Aviation Administration, as well as Dr. Kirkpatrick, the director of AARO, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. Another point of interest that I found was that the FAA representative, Mike Free, mentioned the process for air traffic controllers to report UAPs, but was unaware of the process for pilots to report similar sightings. Oh my gosh. Okay. The thing that makes this interesting is that the FAA does not have a mechanism for pilots to report UFOs. Let me say that again. The FAA does not have a mechanism for pilots to report UFOs. Now you may say, oh, that's nonsense. Of course they do. They don't. Okay. So according to, and this is their stuff, according to Chapter 9, Section 8, Part 1 of the FAA Order JO7110.65AA. Quote, persons wanting to report UFO/unexplained phenomena activity should contact a UFO/unexplained phenomena reporting data collection center, such as the National UFO Reporting Center, etc. If concern is expressed that life or property might be endangered, report the activity to the local law enforcement department. End quote. That's not very helpful. So, while there may be a mechanism for air traffic controllers, there's not one for pilots. And pilots vastly outnumber vastly outnumber air traffic controllers. There's a lot of them, but there's nowhere as near as many as there are pilots. And some of these UAPs, they elude our radar detection. And if you're not going to be picking up on radar, you're going to have to go visual frame of reference. That's going to be pilots. So why would you not want your pilots to report this kind of thing? Not to mention, again, the stigma of it. Some pilots just aren't going to want to report it. But why is this not a thing? Why are not more people coming out and be like, this is a problem? Maybe. Now you know. From Dr. Kirkpatrick, he updates us on the cases that Arrow has accrued. That number has swollen to over 800. He also brought up the point that the intelligence community's sensors are, in fact, calibrated to near scientific standards. So the militaries might not be, but the ICs, they are. And the military, he brings up a point that the military sensors, they have one job. That one job is to find the target and put a weapon system on top of it. So anything outside of that, they're not going to be much good for taking measurements. But, maybe they could figure something out, some kind of algorithm. But, he's like, nah, the IC stuff, we can tell you whatever you want to know about an object. We point our stuff at it, and we will know. The problem, though, is that, we have these things called laws, and you can't exactly just point your spycraft, radar, whatever, in any old direction, because you will be spying on Americans. And that's illegal, which, to his credit, he notes. So, good for Sean. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you understanding that. And lastly, one of the last things he does mention is that he has recently had his first meeting with the Five Eyes. And for those of you that don't know, the Five Eyes are 5 of the larger intelligence agencies in, I guess you could call it the Anglosphere, right? So it's us, it's Canada, the UK, Australia, and New Zealand. It's their intelligence collecting apparati. I don't know what the word is. Anyway, it's their CIAs all cooperating with us. And this is not something he said. He did not say this. This is me going out on a limb, tinfoil hat conspiracy, even though it's not really conspiracy because we know it happens. So, first of all, our government cannot legally spy on us without some kind of overwhelming, really good reason. And even with that, we know that they do spy on us without reason, without cause. And, technically, yes, that is illegal, but they do it anyway. Now, theoretically speaking, if they had this information, they can't say they have it, but with the international cooperation of the Five Eyes, they can go to these people and say, hey, can you gather information on so-and-so who happens to be an American citizen, or this area of our country which happens to be in CONUS, right, the continuous United States. And they can gather the information, and they can give it to them. So it's kind of a roundabout way that they can spy on us without spying on us. And we know they do that. Like, it's been in the news previously. We know they do that. So that's not tinfoil hat or conspiracy. But on the bright side, maybe this will lead us to some answers if they don't blackball the whole thing. Now, optimistically, there was an idea floated by the panel, which I totally, unequivocally support 100%. And that was citizen science. We have to involve the public, and they want to try and possibly crowdsource the data through some type of an app. And I feel that that is the avenue that you want to take. If you want people to be on board with this, you have to engage them. And using an app, you can do all kind of things, because your phones are sensors. They have all kind of sensors, accelerometers, compasses, whatever kind of data they could probably want, as far as video, audio, and directional data. I used to have an app on my phone as a MUFON investigator that it took all kinds of data. It had it geotagged, so it had my GPS location on it as far as lat and long. It had the direction that I was looking at in degrees. It also had a declination meter on it. So it knew like left, right, and then also right ascension. It knew where I was looking, where that photo was aimed at. So, you could come up with some kind of an app like that, and then ideally you would be able to track in real time UAP sightings, and with that information you would be able to triangulate where these events are happening. Because if you have 3 different people who are watching the same event from 3 different locations, you can take the data from those pictures with that data on it and triangulate, okay, where is this craft? Okay, it's here. And then these other guys over here notice it then. So you know its location, you know its direction of travel, and so you can use that to start rolling things out. So that's a really good idea. I kind of hope that this isn't the first time they've thought about it, because again, they've been working on this for a year, and that would be like my first idea. We gotta get more people in on this, more than just the scientific community, because there's not enough of us. But anyway, if you would like to watch the full recorded event, you can find the link in the description, or you can just search NASA UAP Hearing. It's pretty easy to find. There's a lot of different channels that have it, including other news outlets also covered it on their streams. If you don't want to spend 4 hours watching it, I would recommend going to thedebrief.org and checking out their articles. They have at least 2 or 3 articles, and they're good. They have really good journalism at that site. And I apologize if I seem a bit cynical, a little on my soapbox here, but in my opinion, it looks like history is very dangerously close to repeating itself. And I, for one, am extremely tired of my tax money being wasted. Either come out and say we know what it is, or come out and say we don't have any idea, but we're looking into it. Just stop lying to us. Now, on that note, I do want to bring up that apparently, according to NASA, some of the people on their UAP panel have been harassed online, virtually. Just because you may be passionate about a topic does not give anyone free license to be an asshole. These people, given the benefit of the doubt, are not part of some larger inner conspiracy. They have no idea what has come before them. They are probably completely ignorant of everything that has happened before them. Does that really give them an excuse to not know? No, it absolutely does not. But we have to give them the benefit of the doubt and hope that their scientific integrity will outweigh any kind of governmental interference. That being said, the spokesperson for NASA was very adamant that NASA is a public domain organization and that anything they do has to be open to the public, which is malarkey. It's total malarkey. Everyone knows NASA does top secret missions for the military. So no, not all of their stuff is open. Not all of their stuff is available. A good portion of it is, but not all of it. In addition, there was a question asked of what are they hiding, and have they ever cut the feed for NASA TV because of something? And, well, their answer was not that he knows of, but they most definitely have doctored things. And if you've watched the one of the recent episodes of the Y-Files, where they talk about NASA doctoring photos from Mars, as well as the fact that they do in fact have a 5-second delay on their TV output, then kind of makes you a little suspicious. At any rate, if he's telling the truth, then he's telling the truth. But then on the other hand, he might just be a useful idiot and not know, because that's how compartmentalization works. Deep breaths. Okay. So, all that being said, if you feel the same way that I do, then this next story will give you a call to action. This is an event, and normally it would be put in the event section, but I feel it fits quite nicely right here. Dr. Stephen Greer will be hosting a disclosure conference on June 10th and 11th in Washington, D.C. This is predicted to be a massive, groundbreaking, once-in-a-lifetime event. On Saturday, the presentations will include ET vehicle crash recoveries, covert man-made craft versus ET craft, extensive military, corporate, and top-secret witness list, top-secret facilities with a map and locations of facilities around the world, the state of disclosure, and new top-secret witness cases. On Sunday, there will be select historical UFO cases, illegal black budget, scalar wave energy technology and applications, Raytheon neutrino light array at the South Pole, architecture of secrecy, counterintelligence, and disinformation, media corruption, top government officials who have been briefed by Dr. Greer and were since denied access to certain programs. Retired Air Force Colonel Heckert will present live testimony as a U-2 pilot. There will be Dr. Greer's recommendations to the President, Congress, and the Pentagon, a call to action for citizens as to what they can do to further disclosure. Attorney Derek Garcia will discuss RICO and plans for a legal task force. And for those of you who are not aware of what RICO is, RICO stands for the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act. If you've seen, I want to say it's The Dark Knight. It's one of the Nolan trilogy movies. They talk about RICO, and it's kind of like guilt by association, but it's for the mob. So basically the thought is, if you can accuse or prosecute one person in an organization for conspiracy, you can charge the whole of the organization, everybody, top to bottom. And so they use the RICO to, get rid of the mafia. And, it looks like they're going to try to use it to throw at the government. Good luck, boys. After all of that, the final thing for Sunday is going to be a screening of Dr. Greer's latest documentary, The Lost Century and How to Claim It. The conference is a paid event, and tickets for in-person and virtual options are available at SiriusDisclosure.com. That's SIRIUS disclosure.com. The conference will be followed by a National Press Club event, Disclosure 2.0, on Monday, June 12th from 2 to 3:30 p.m., where new top-secret testimony will be presented. The Monday event will be streamed online free via YouTube. Additionally, Dr. Greer is urging those who want to push disclosure to reach out to their congressional representatives and make them aware of this event. A listing of your representatives and senators can be found at congress.gov. Space weather. This from spaceweather.com. The annual Aretid meteor shower will be peaking Monday, June 5th, but the peak will be happening in the daytime and will be invisible to observers. That being said, observers may be able to catch a glimpse by looking east during the dark hour just before dawn Monday morning. The sun is putting out terawatts of energy, causing the upper atmosphere to heat up. The hot air expands, and as the atmosphere gets larger, it starts to run into satellites, which are in low Earth orbit. This will cause the satellites to slow down and possibly re-enter the atmosphere. Even with the increased solar activity, the solar flare outlook is 35% chance for Class M and 10% chance for Class X solar flares over the next 24 to 48 hours. Potential impactors are few this week, with the closest approach being today by asteroid 2023 HO18 with a diameter of 29 meters at 1.2 lunar distance. The largest asteroid this week will be 2023 KW2, making its approach June 6 with a diameter of 67 meters at a distance of 11.8 lunar distance. If that one hit, it would be a very bad day on Earth. According to the American Meteor Society, June is a slow month overall for meteor activity, with the next observable events peaking at around July 31st and August 12th, 13th. Cryptid Sightings. Today's Bigfoot sighting comes from the Bigfoot Field Research Organization database, reference number 74666, dated July 1, 2022. The sighting took place in Hillsboro, North Carolina, only about an hour away from our HQ. On June 24, the witness's 17-year-old daughter reported spotting a creature standing on two legs near the edge of the woods. The creature was almost as tall as the bottom of their basketball net. When she noticed the animal, it turned and disappeared into the woods, and she thinks she may have heard it running through the bush. A week later, on July 1st, the father saw the animal. It was hiding behind a fallen tree. Upon being spotted, it turned and quickly walked away into the woods towards the Eno River. Something peculiar was that none of the family's 5 dogs alerted to the creature. Furthermore, no footprints or scat were found by the father, who does bow hunt the area. There is no outdoor safety segment this week. Post Biology. This article from The Mirror, dated May 28. On April 17th, Afterlife Paranormal investigated the castle Bromwich Hall in Birmingham, UK. The evidence captured is astonishing. Using a ghost box, a voice was heard asking, "Are we friends?" One of the investigators replied in the affirmative and asked for a door to open, which it did. Additionally, EVPs were captured of possibly 2 different entities, a Lady Ida Bridgman and a Catherine Arden. Photos taken that evening captured a face in a window and a distorted, full-body apparition. The castle, originally built in the 16th century, is today a hotel. So if you're ever in the Birmingham area, you might have a place to stay and some visitors at night. Upcoming events. June 9 through 11, Forest County Bigfoot Festival in Marionville, Pennsylvania. There will be a large selection of vendors with arts and crafts, children's activities, a petting zoo, food trucks, speakers, live music, a 5K run on Sunday, and an active Bigfoot hunt contest where contestants will search for Bigfoot silhouettes, taking pictures of them for a chance at prizes. Speakers will include Dan Benoit, Les Odell, Justin Decker, J.W. Burchick, Jim Boardwine, and Mike Familant. For more information, check out ForestCountyBigfootFestival.com. June 16 through 18 in Ashville, North Carolina is the first annual Cosmic Summit featuring Randall Carlson among 14 other phenomenal speakers. The Cosmic Summit will tell the whole story of Earth as best we can. Topics addressed will include the well-published Younger Dryas Impact Event, more recent cosmic impacts, suspected precursor civilizations, Clovis people, the Black Mat, Gobekli Tepe, ancient lost technologies, controversial archaeology, megalithic monument building, Egyptian mysteries, and catastrophic geology. In-person tickets may still be available for $571 after tax. Online tickets are available for $49, and both can be purchased at howtube.com/14369. June 17 in Wares Cave, Virginia will be the Virginia Bigfoot Con, presented by the East Coast Bigfoot Researchers Organization. There will be many vendors, arts and crafts, food trucks, live music by My Cousin Jimmy's String Band, and speakers including Zach Bales, Bo Mills, Rick Reels, Mike Familant, and Ed Brown, with a special guest appearance by the Animal Planet's Turtle Man from Call of the Wild. And we here at Paranormal Operator will be at the Virginia Bigfoot Con. Hope to see many of you there. Oh, and by the way, as far as the speakers go, the tickets are sold out for the speakers. But the event itself is free, so you can go and peruse the vendors, shop, hang out, have a good time. But tickets to get in to see the speakers, they're sold out. July 2nd is World UFO Day. July 22nd is the 5th annual Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Conference in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. This conference is not just for Bigfoot enthusiasts, but for anyone who wants to believe. Join Cliff Barackman, Renee Holland, Matt Moneymaker, Tony Merkel, and Lori Wade as they take you on a journey to unravel the mysteries of Bigfoot. You may also want to check out the many sponsors and vendors selling all kinds of Bigfoot and cryptozoology gear. Doors open at 9 a.m. and go to 7 p.m. The event is open to the public, but advance tickets are recommended before they sell out. Tickets can be purchased at gatherupevents.com/Smoky-Mountain-Bigfoot-Conference. July 29 and 30 is the Anomalous Aerospace Phenomena Conference, put on by the Scientific Coalition for UAP Studies. This is a scientific conference where speakers will be presenting papers on a range of topics dealing with UAPs. The event is virtual, and tickets can be purchased at explorescu.org/conferences. Ordinarily, this is where we would put our popular media segment, but this week, Secret of Skinwalker Ranch did not have an episode. So we don't have a segment, I guess. However, you can look forward to episode 7 premiering this Tuesday at its normal time, as well as sometime this upcoming week. We will do a review of that episode, as well as a mid-season review. So a little something to look forward to. And on that note, we have an announcement. for some of our upcoming events. There will be a disruption of episodes for June and July due to my work. So if you don't see any activity on our YouTube channel or on our social media sites, don't panic. I haven't gone anywhere. I haven't been black bagged. I'm just busy. So more than likely, I'm going to probably have 1, maybe 2 more episodes this month. And then I'll just have to see how July happens, because I'm very busy, or I will be here pretty soon with work. So I'm just going to have to play it by ear. Now, there is some good news. In August, I'm going to start conducting paranormal surveys and investigations. So a survey is basically just going to be like a 4-hour, go there, hang out, bring the K2, bring the EMF meter, maybe a recorder, and a body cam, and kind of get a feel for a place, talk to people, and then maybe that'll lead into an investigation. Don't know yet. Kind of have to talk to some of these property owners. If you have a place you would like for me to check out that is in the Raleigh area or Central North Carolina, feel free to put it in an email. Currently, I'm looking at a few places, like the Mordecai House, which is in Raleigh. I have reached out to the Rice Museum in Georgetown, South Carolina, from the last week's episode. And then I'm also looking at the St. Simon's Lighthouse, which is on St. Simon's Island in Georgia. And I know for a fact that place is haunted, because I've had experiences out there at the lighthouse. And all the staff that I've talked to in the past has said that it is most definitely haunted. So I'm hoping I'll be able to do that, actually swing through there in August when I go home for summer. So we'll see what happens. But that's what might be coming up. At any rate, folks, that's all I have for this week. If you like what you heard, please comment, like, share, subscribe. All that good stuff helps out the algorithm. If you did not like what you heard, I thank you for listening this long. You can find us on Twitter at ParanormalOps23 and on Instagram and Rumble at ParanormalOperator23. Our email, if you have any comments, concerns, or you want to report sightings or experiences, you can email us at paranormaloperator23@gmail.com. Until next time, folks, keep searching in the darkness.